Greetings and welcome back to yet another daily run, and today we're playing as Eden. And Eden is just one of those characters that's really unique every time you play him. It's basically like playing a new random character every time you start a new run with Eden. And I think that's what makes him at the same time, obviously very unique. But it also gives you kind of run for your money because, you're used to Isaac, for example, and you know how far you can shoot, and you know just how to angle your shots to hit enemies that are maybe in the crevices or whatever. But with Eden, because you do have those random stats every time you start a new run, it really goes to show just how good of a player you are, because you have to adapt, or at least until you don't get a few items that kind of, propel you forward. But at the start, I feel like it's a good indication of just how familiar you are with the game and how well you understand the mechanics. And for that reason, I think that's why Eden is a good contender for one of the best daily characters, because you're forced to play with items that normally you wouldn't pick up, and you're forced into these uncomfortable positions that you otherwise won't take. Sorry for the little video glitch here. I'm not sure what happened. I think just my disk froze when I was recording, but yeah. So our first boss here is Ragman, and he's been a real contender for the past few days. I just hate it whenever he appears on the first floor. And with Eden, especially this run, we don't have a lot of damage, not at all. Thankfully, we did pick up Holy Light, and Holy Light is one. You see those beams of light that shoot down. Those are actually Holy Light shots, and thankfully, they are the things that's kind of helping us stay in this fight and kind of be a contender. But we have so little damage. Then when he pops his head off, we just can't kill it fast enough before he spawns a spider, and that's really unfortunate. You saw here, I actually hit 2 Holy Light shots on the head, and it still wasn't enough for us to do enough damage to kill him. Thankfully, he didn't do any of those attacks where he spawns 3 spiders, and just in general, there weren't a lot of spiders on the screen, so thankfully it wasn't too difficult. Here there were 3, but thankfully they're all on the left side of the screen, so I don't have to go into this cross-section dodge weird mode. And that's actually it. We managed to beat him without taking a single hit of damage. Ragman isn't hard in terms of avoiding attacks and things like that. What he is tedious, and because you fight him for a long time, usually you kind of get tired, and that's your malpractice usually causes you to take damage. We get a blue mushroom, and I always love to get items that increase my tear speed whenever I have a stat affecting item like Holy Light Shot, which is dependent on luck, just because the more tears you shoot, the more likely it is for you to kind of apply that effect, and I think that makes for a fun run. Here we trade out the poop, which is obviously a pretty bad item, for Mom's bottle of pills. I'm one of those players that always takes pills, because I think on average taking pills is more beneficial than not taking them. My reasoning for that is there are a few good pills, like objectively bad pills that I would really feel bad about taking is usually Tears Down. Bad Trip is annoying too, but at the same time, pills like Speed Down, Bad Trip, and maybe even the Whiz or something like that. Not the Whiz, but the one that makes you shoot diagonally. Why did I forget the name? Oh, doesn't matter. But those pills are temporary, either have a small downgrade and usually are not run ending. Like, I would feel bad about taking a held down pill when I'm the keeper. Definitely that's just a big deal. But on any other character, I feel like those downgrade pills aren't that bad, because usually they're just a temporary problem, except for Tears Down. That I think that's the worst pill you can actually take. But those Tears Up, well, not Tears Up, but good pills actually can bring you a lot of benefits in the run. So things like, I Can See Forever allows you to see both secret rooms without using bombs, and Tears Up pills, of course, is good, and luck pills. The good thing is that when you identify a bad pill, you don't have to take it again, but when you identify a good pill, you can take it, as many times as you want. And having Mom's bottle of pills then allows us to generate a lot of pills, so that means that it's very likely for us to encounter good pills more times. So that's why I think, because we didn't have a better spacebar item, I think it's a good idea for us to take it. And actually it does end up helping us in the end, and I stand by my choice. Sometimes I won't say I use a pill in an unfortunate situation and things can get bad. But if you know what you're doing, kinda, you know, don't use random pills while you're fighting boss rush so you don't get teleported out of the room accidentally, or don't take speed downs when you're already super slow. But just in general, I think, you know, if you can know your limits and how well you perform with different stats, I think then it's a good idea to take pills as you see fit. You know, I can understand an argument for not taking pills, and I think that's a good way to approach the game. But at the same time, you know, because Isaac is kind of inherently random, I do like taking pills because it makes runs a bit more fun, and you can do some fancy things with it sometimes. And I like I said, I just feel that overall it's a good. It's more of a benefit than a negative. So we're fighting Pip. He's one of my least favorite bosses, just because he jumps too much, in my opinion. Like, if he didn't jump, I think he would be tolerable. But because he does jump, creates puddles, and he has those stupid eyes just floating around, he's just one of those bosses which I don't really want to encounter, especially early on when I have this little damage. But thankfully, I do manage to beat him without taking a hit, and I think I'm always happy when I can do that. You know, makes me feel like I'm playing well, even though later on I'll take a lot of dumb damage. We get the angel room because the previous floor didn't have devil deal. Well, it did have a devil deal, but it didn't have any devil deal items. We weren't guaranteed a devil deal on this floor, so we got an angel room, and it had the rosary, which is an okay item. You know, gives you 3 spirit hearts, but makes Bible more likely to appear, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But, you know, I just don't want to take it because it's not that good, you know, 3 spirit hearts, and kind of pollute my shop. And I don't have a lot of money, so I think it's a better idea not to take it. Thankfully, this devil deal was a bit better and actually starts propelling her on forward. Has the mark, which increases her damage and tear speed, and it has the Maw of the Void, which gives us that black ring, which has a chance to give us black hearts. And, you know, when you're not dealing that much damage, like, you know, we are now, we really don't have a lot of damage, just like 2 minor damage ups. Having Maw of the Void really helps you out. It gives you know, like a way to regenerate hearts, and that's always a good thing. The previous room just looked like he had a second secret room at the end. We only had 1 bomb, and that actually, like, my hunch was that there was a second secret room there. Sometimes it works out, sometimes my hunch is wrong, sometimes it isn't. And you know, because this map only goes to heart, we can visit Shoal if we have an AWAS rune or the shovel. So I am on the lookout for second secret rooms because they can contain those runes that we need. And in this one, sadly, we didn't have an AWAS, but what we did have were 2 blank runes. I just used one immediately because I can't take 2 runes, and I just take one in hopes that when I get to the next floor, to the last floor, I can actually, I can use it, and hopefully it's an AWAS rune. It won't work all the time. Obviously, if you get a better rune, I'll replace it. But for the time being, I think it's our best chance to go further and amass more points. What I didn't mention is that we also got Red Candle, and I usually don't take Red Candle because it's usually a detriment to use it, just in the sense that usually your tears are stronger, and by using Red Candle you're actually reducing your DPS if you don't aim it well. But in this round, because we weren't that strong at second floor, Red Candle is a huge get for us. If you place a good shot with the Red Candle, you can actually 2-shot most bosses, which is just great. One of the best things you can actually hope for. And I really like the addition of it in Afterbirth. We picked up Fruitcake here, and Fruitcake is one of those items that gives you random tears. And I would never recommend picking up this item because it can have explosive tears that will damage you and decrease your score, or just have those random effects that you can't predict. And having random effects on tears is not a good thing, especially if you're going just for score and things like that. But I picked it because, you know, after all, this is still a game and I'm still trying to have a little bit of fun, and I think it's a fun item. It's not run ending like soy milk sometimes is, but it's just an item that has a chance to be a little bit of a negative sometimes. It also has its upsides, you know, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't take it if it was just a bad item like maybe Isaac's Heart is. You know, it can contain, first of all, it can give you coins from the Coin of the Keeper shots, and I actually amassed like 20 cents or something like that through boss rush. It's not worth it for the amount of times I get hit. You can just see my hearts decreasing with the time. I don't know what was it, this boss rush in particular. I'm not very good in boss rushes, but in this one in particular, I got hit so many times for whatever reason. Maybe the permutation of bosses that came up were kind of weird, and maybe I'm not used to them. Or maybe, you know, I wasn't just paying attention that much. One thing I do have to say is picking up fruitcake. I'm not using my Maw of the Void very much. There's a black circle because you have to charge it up and then release it. And because I'm kind of afraid to get near enemies because of those explosive shots, I'm kind of not using Maw of the Void. So I think that's overall it was actually a negative for me. It usually is, but I was really hoping to kind of make it work. But yeah, like I said, in this scenario with Maw of the Void, I didn't dare to charge up that attack just because I was afraid I would, you know, lose more points in the process. And we get to the last floor and use our blank card, which gives us a random rune. And we managed to get AWAS, which actually leads to the next floor. I don't think that ever happened to me in a daily run, like out of 180 daily runs or whatever they were I played, maybe more. It has never happened that I actually got that I actually picked up a blank rune and used it on the last floor to get an AWAS rune that would actually lead me to the next floor. I think one time it happened and I actually got a crawl space which didn't lead me to the next floor, so that's kind of a bummer. But in this case it just worked out and I'm super happy we made that decision to use our last bump for that second secret room. Maybe there's a more sure way to find that, but I think I checked most second secret rooms and just overall rooms. I think I skipped a few because I was kind of in a rush for boss rush. But I'm glad it worked out because obviously, you know, we need ways to get further somehow, and if someone didn't find that second secret room, maybe there's no way down, you know, maybe there's no AWAS rune, or maybe there's no shovel which then leads you to go further than Mom's Heart. So by doing that we have a really big advantage over people who know you didn't find that second secret room. Luckily, you know, for all of those people that didn't find it, I played terribly and I get hit again way too much. I don't know what's up with me these last few days. I just can't dodge, I guess, shots at all. But that's okay, you know. I always say Isaac is a game where you kind of expect to get hit, and as long as you have hearts are a resource. It doesn't matter with how many hearts you finish. What's important is that you stay alive until end of the run, and that usually gives you a good score. Just finishing the run, I think, nets you a pretty decent score, which is kind of telling that a lot of people, well, most people don't actually even finish the run in Isaac. So you shouldn't feel bad for performing badly or getting hit a lot. It doesn't mean that you're a bad player at all, you know, and you shouldn't feel bad if you die sometimes, because Isaac is just like that. You will get hit sometimes and you will die often. Until you get used to it, you know, especially on some dailies that you just can't do much about it, like you die on the first floor with just one heart remaining. And that's just a bummer, but that's just how random games go like this. There's a lot of Satan fighting in the previous days, so I don't feel like showing the boss fight again. And with we actually picked up Jera as well, but we can't really utilize it. There wasn't room with a lot of hard drops. And this is just one of the rooms that kind of shows just how badly I'm doing. I'm not sure what messed with me. Maybe the red candle that I used kind of messed up my perspective, and I thought my character is actually bigger than it was, and then I managed to get hit somehow. I should have used my Jera here in retrospective. It wouldn't make a big difference because I am capped out with coins. But I only have one heart left, and I try to use the bomb in an optimal way. I see the troll bomb, I just get out and decide not to get back there. And I don't even bother picking up the coins near the spikes. I'm just kind of too afraid I would die. And that was it, actually. Because I did play this later than usual again. 60 second, well, 20 second, not 60 second. We rank in 22nd, and I think that's a decent score again. With just a huge amount of damage penalty. Like I said, this damage penalty is one of the most important things you can reduce if you want to rank better, and you just do that by playing more carefully at start, and when you kind of get comfortable by dodging enemies, those really hard rooms, then you can actually start to incorporate faster play to kinda alleviate that need to get to boss rush or hush in time. With that said, I hope you guys stay tuned for the next one, which will of course comes at every start of a new daily, so that means that whenever there's a new daily you can expect a video from the previous daily. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you next time.